How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal, and we are closing in on 3 years since the first reported cases of the COVID-19 virus, the pandemic, the panini, all that good stuff, right? I'm not going to say the more racist things because they are in fact racist, and we shouldn't have been saying them to begin with. But, yeah, to circle back, so that's going on now, and we're still kind of in the midst of, we're still in the midst of that pandemic. We are also in a brave new world where computers are more prevalent than they've ever been. And it's a lot different than we thought it would be in the 80s and 90s. Because in media in the 80s and 90s, the idea of a world within computers was really different from the metaverse. And we had stuff like Tron, and later on Reboot, and the movie Hackers, where they were hacking into computers and they were navigating tangible 3D space inside of these computers. Lawnmower Man, all kinds of stuff like that. And video games were even more, it was even weirder, right? Because one of my favorite NES games was Kabuki Quantum Fighter, where a dude basically his consciousness got transmitted into a computer, and he took the form of one of his ancestors who was a kabuki actor, I guess, / martial artist. I don't know. It's a great video game though. If you've never played Kabuki Quantum Fighter, you should totally do so. But today's game takes a much different approach to life inside of a computer. And it also plays off of what I mentioned at the beginning with the whole virus thing, right? Today, we're going to take a look at the Mutant Virus, Crisis in a Computer World. Now, in this game, you play as a dude named Ron Trainer. Ron Trainer is a master debugger. And said master debugger has to contend with a virus that has taken over a city to the extent that cars are randomly exploding and the power just cut off and all kinds of wild stuff is happening, right? And whoever's behind the virus has basically locked them out of the system. And that leaves Ron and his boss to come up with a plan. The plan is to shrink Ron down, put him into the computer somehow, and have him manually fly around in a special suit and basically shoot up the virus with an antivirus that's going to turn the virus colors and then cause it to self-destruct. This sounds like the weirdest knockoff of Asteroids ever. And the controls take some getting used to. The weakness of your weapon takes some getting used to. But all in all, it's not an awful game. It's a very interesting game, and it's one that takes a lot of getting used to. But the biggest problem I have with this game is probably one, how weak your weapons are as opposed to the virus, how slapdash your weapons effect on the virus is, and the music, or lack thereof when you're actually playing through the game. It's a bunch of bleeps and bloops and the sound of your weapon hitting the virus. It's kind of all over the place. But, you know, at the end of the day, it all kind of works out, I guess, in a weird way. Because this low-key feels like a proto-survival horror game. Not in the same way that Berserk was, or that, hell, Pac-Man was. Because I don't care what nobody say, Pac-Man is early survival horror. But yeah, this is a interesting game, and it's definitely an acquired taste, because if you didn't like stuff like Asteroids or later on Solar Jetman, you probably won't like this. And that's a good thing, because, you know, if you decide you want a copy of the Mutant Virus, loose carts average about $50. It's not a particularly easy to get game, and it's not a particularly cheap game. It's a lot cheaper than other stuff, but for something that nobody really remembers, it's a pretty steep cost, you know? I don't know if I would throw $50 at it when Solar Jetman's sitting right there and it's a lot cheaper and a lot more accessible. Also, if you want to do some stuff inside of a computer and a video game, just get Kabuki Quantum Fighter. It's fantastic. Okay? Okay. This has been the 8-Bit Animal. I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow. Tomorrow. Hey, it's a video pinball game. No, not that one. Not that one either. Maybe that one. Absolutely not that one.